You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right. Feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it.
Feuds, fallout, and fractures. Diddy's history with these 7 musicians reveals more than industry drama. It uncovers patterns that have followed him to his biggest challenges yet. What went so wrong that these artists became targets of his disdain? And what do their stories say about Diddy himself? Stay tuned, because the last story might force you to rethink everything you thought you knew about him. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, Drake. For years, Diddy and Drake's dynamic simmered quietly, a collision course fueled by ambition, ego, and 2 very different visions of power in the music world. By 2014, the tension between the two finally boiled over in a nightclub in Miami. The breaking point, a single song. Drake had reportedly recorded 0 to 100 without securing the proper clearance from Diddy, who claimed the track was initially his. This wasn't just a clash over music, it was a moment dripping with symbolism. Diddy, a veteran of hip-hop culture, saw himself battling an upstart who seemed to rewrite the rules of the industry. In contrast to Diddy's flash and mogul persona, Drake was carving a new path defined by vulnerability and emotional honesty, becoming a voice for a generation that Diddy couldn't fully reach. And while Diddy fought for control over his legacy, Drake's rise underscored a shifting landscape, leaving Diddy struggling to keep pace. Number 2, Maze. Diddy and Maze were once a dream duo, the elusive mogul and the charismatic rapper creating hits that defined an era. From Can't Nobody Hold Me Down to Mo Money Mo Problems, their synergy seemed untouchable, but behind the shiny chart toppers, a darker story was brewing, one that Mace wouldn't hold back for long. Years later, he accused Diddy of withholding money owed to him and exploiting his publishing rights, allegations that sent shockwaves through their fan bases. On social media, Mace claimed Diddy offered only $20,000 for rights to his music, when Mace himself believed they were worth far more. The betrayal was palpable. "You sold me dreams of being great," Mace wrote in one post, "but I know I can't be great because someone is still jabbing me from the top." Their fallout painted an increasingly unflattering picture of Diddy's business practices. Publicly seen as a mentor, Mace's accusations opened a floodgate of skepticism around whether Diddy's guidance exploited rather than elevated his protégés. And this feud wasn't quiet. It set the stage for another artist to speak out next. Number 3, 50 Cent.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that
for years, the feud between Diddy and 50 Cent has been impossible to ignore, largely because 50 just won't let it fade. From interviews to an endless stream of Instagram posts, 50 Cent has taken every opportunity to mock Diddy's reputation, lifestyle, and even his business practices. But this isn't just about petty insults. One of the most serious accusations involves 50 openly suggesting that Diddy was somehow connected to the 1997 murder of the notorious B.I.G., an allegation that has haunted Diddy's public image since it was first hinted at. Unsurprisingly, Diddy's usual tactic has been to brush these claims off publicly, but 50 has kept the narrative alive, relentlessly stirring the pot. On Instagram, 50's trolling has become almost an art form. From mocking the way Diddy speaks to throwing shade at his relationships, 50 keeps the feud front and center. Diddy, meanwhile, plays the dismissal card, rarely giving 50 the satisfaction of a direct response. Still, the very persistence of this feud highlights Diddy's ongoing fight to defend his credibility in a culture that demands authenticity. And here's where the fallout takes an even sharper turn. Number 4, Jermaine Dupri. The rivalry between Diddy and Jermaine Dupri isn't just about music, it's a clash of two visions, two legacies, and two men determined to define their place in music history. For decades, they've operated in parallel worlds. Diddy, with his flashy, larger-than-life persona, built Bad Boy Records into a juggernaut with iconic acts like the Notorious B.I.G. Jermaine Dupri, meanwhile, quietly crafted So-So Def recordings, delivering a steady stream of hits for stars like Mariah Carey and Usher. Both reshaped hip-hop and R&B, but when their legacies were put to the test, their very different approaches collided. The Verzuz debate brought the tension center stage. Jermaine challenged Diddy to a battle, only for Diddy to bluntly dismiss him, insisting Dupri wasn't on his level. That comment ignited debate within the culture. Fans and critics alike began dissecting their contributions, with some crediting Dupri for his depth in production, and others defending Diddy's reign as a tastemaker. The exchange blurred a potential moment of celebration into yet another bitter rivalry, further complicating Diddy's mission to cement his enduring dominance. That relentless protectiveness of his legacy, it would soon resurface, this time in a clash closer to home. Number 5. Aubry O'Day. Aubry O'Day's entry into Diddy's world was meant to be her big break. As a member of Danity Kane, the girl group built by Diddy on MTV's Making the Band, she was set to rise under his guidance. But years later, O'Day would pull back the curtain on that experience, calling it one of manipulation, control, and mistreatment. What seemed at first like an opportunity quickly became, in her words, a toxic environment. "He's ruthless," she said in one interview, describing a management style that pushed limits in what she alleged were damaging ways. O'Day's criticisms weren't made lightly. She called out Diddy's tendency to pit bandmates against each other, recounting instances of public ridicule and emotional manipulation. Social media only amplified her voice, where she accused him of breaking the group apart for his own gain. Her story echoes larger criticisms of Diddy's leadership, painting him less as a mentor and more as a puppet master. Through O'Day's eyes, the promise of stardom came with an inescapable cost, one that left long-lasting scars on her career and confidence. Now, the spotlight moves closer to a more current and tangled connection. Number 6. Young Miami. Young Miami, known offstage as Karacia Brownlee, has become one of the most talked about figures tied to Diddy's life. Their connection is a blend of professional collaboration and romantic involvement, but it's also complicated by intense public scrutiny. Whether snapped courtside at a basketball game or trading affectionate words on social media, their dynamic has sparked endless debate. Critics have questioned if Miami's career rise is fueled more by Diddy's influence than her own talent, framing their partnership as a symbol of favoritism in a highly competitive industry. Miami's career with the City Girls gained momentum independently, but her alignment with Diddy has drawn accusations of power imbalances. Some argue her elevated visibility reflects the perks and scrutiny of being linked to a mogul of his stature. The relationship has also thrust her into a firestorm of judgment, with fans dissecting every move through the lens of their personal connection. Number 7. The LOX. The LOX comprised of Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch, signed with Bad Boy Records in the mid-90s during Diddy's meteoric rise. At first, their collaboration seemed like a perfect fit, with the LOX contributing to major hits like It's All About the Benjamins. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. The group clashed with Diddy over creative direction, feeling forced into a more commercial sound that didn't align with their gritty, street-focused image. Things took a public and dramatic turn when the LOX demanded to be released from their Bad Boy contract, accusing Diddy of unfair financial practices.
In September, TMZ reported that the New York mogul had handed Mace, the LOX, and the estate of the Notorious B.I.G., among others, the rights to their music. P has chimed into the conversation surrounding Diddy giving several Bad Boy artists their publishing rights back, pointing out that the LOX have had control of their music for years now. All media outlets and journalists, the LOX has had their publishing back since June of 2021. Should have asked us how we felt about it at the time.
The tipping point came during a 2005 interview on Hot 97, where the group openly confronted Diddy on air. They claimed their publishing rights were being exploited and said Diddy was pocketing profits that should have gone to them. "We just want to eat off our own work," Styles P declared, capturing the frustration of countless artists navigating similar power imbalances. Across decades of success, Diddy's career tells a larger story, one where personal and professional disputes have left undeniable scars. From Drake and Maze to the LOX and Aubry O'Day, the recurring pattern is hard to ignore. broken relationships, allegations of control, and battles for respect. Each feud reveals a different side of the mogul, but together, they paint a picture of an industry giant whose legacy is as complex as it is controversial. With recent legal troubles casting an even darker shadow, the question is no longer just about his relevance, it's about what remains of the empire he built.